And it is Carcone Carne. Happy Thursday night. I'm James Van Osdell here in quarantine. This is episode 465, and it is brought to you by C&H Financial Services. Business owners are still figuring their way through this madness, trying to figure out the new normal brought on by the coronavirus. And C&H Financial Services is here to help. They offer a variety of products ranging from traditional merchant accounts to a zero-cost payment processing solution, which eliminates the expense associated with accepting Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express as a form of customer payment. C&H Financial Services eTab solutions, easy to set up for your business for online ordering and curbside pickup. And C&H also offers cost-effective commercial lending programs, which can help get your business the money it needs to make it through these unprecedented times. To learn more, contact C&H Financial Services at 855-600-2437 or go to chfs.us. Joining me tonight, this is going to be awesome. I have Glenn A.D. and Meghan Benson from The Head of a Girl, a fantastic Chicago artist or group on with me tonight. Nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you, James. Thanks for having us.
Meet you, James.
So here's how I described you in the Facebook Live. Tonight's guest is recommended if you like artists like Nine Inch Nails, Portishead, Depeche Mode, and Peter Gabriel. The music of The Head of a Girl is haunted. It's haunting. It's atmospheric and designed to bore into your skull and stay there. How's that?
That's lovely.
I like that. Yeah.
It's, we're all in the Chicago area. I was listening earlier today to This Place Is Really Nowhere, the new one from The Head of a Girl. And it was pouring and it was storming and it was windy outside. And it was dreary. And I thought, oh, this is The Head of a Girl weather. This is.
That's my favorite weather.
Yeah, this is your climate aesthetic going on. It was perfect listening for the new album.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what we're used to. So I guess, that came out in the music.
Yeah, and musically, you're definitely on the nocturnal side of things.
I would say so.
You sound better when it's dark out.
I think Glenn only comes out when it's dark out, so that works.
That's true. I'm behind this red light. I am pretty pasty, so.
So again, This Place Is Really Nowhere is the new one. There are some songs we've heard before from you on this, and I will say this is a substantial album. These aren't short, quick songs. This is a big piece of work. There are 13 songs, most of which are these dense, dramatic soundscapes. How many of these songs have been kicking around for a while?
These songs have been kicking around for quite a while, actually. They're all quite old, dating back to, late high school, early college years, penning the lyrics, over different circumstances. But yeah, they
wait. Some of these songs, like you wrote some of the stuff when you were in high school.
Yeah, that's how far back this project goes. It's actually a bit of a bucket list. It's something I've been sitting on for a long time and always wanted to do. And just, for various reasons, it never surfaced until, about 5 years ago is when I started really putting it back together again.
I think the thing I find so surprising about that is who writes good stuff in high school? I mean, this music's great.
I would say like that.
Yeah, I guess just, it was, you write about just whatever's going on at the time and and all those influences that you listed, of course, helped.
Yeah, you can kind of trace your aesthetic through the years. I mean, your sound. How did you two, how did this all start? How did The Head of a Girl, what's the origin story?
How we met or how just the entire project started?
Let's go with both.
Okay. Meghan, you want to?
Sure. I mean, Glenn had this going way before I jumped on, and he had his vocals on some of the songs, and some didn't have any lyrics, or at least no singing. And so I got on the project with him. I was at a barbecue, and a mutual friend of ours, JP, was like, my friend Glenn is looking for a singer for his band. I'm like, well, I sing, but I don't know if he'd want little old me in his band. And I sent him just like a short video clip of me singing, and he was like, yes, let's have a phone call.
And I love there are instances where you two take turns singing. Specifically, which one is it? Is it clipped? Wait, hang on.
Yes,
Yeah,
clip.
Clip, the intro.
Yeah, I love that. Just the two vocals back and forth. I love that balance. There's another song on there I wanted to ask about. A few songs I want to ask about. Starting with "Sick of It All." That's an older one. That's one I've heard before. Glenn, I'm listening to the song. I'm following along with the lyrics. I'm sick of the lies, sick of the loss, sick of the price, sick of the cost, sick of the rise, sick of the fall. I'm sick of the shit. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it all. Do you need a hug?
He always needs a hug.
Who doesn't though? Especially
Who doesn't? We all need a hug right now, right? So I'm going to do something adventurous. This is what qualifies for adventurous when you're sheltering in place for most of your days. I'm going to play a clip from the latest album, which is, oh wait, hang on. The latest album, which is This Place Is Really Nowhere. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I played this one on my radio show, Demo 312, recently. Sounds really cool. I just want to, it's okay if I play a couple seconds of the song, right?
Absolutely, sure.
All right. I have the band's permission. We're all good. All right. This is Stop It. See, the thing that stinks about doing the screen sharing like this, I can't fade it down like I'm in a radio studio. Like I want to be able to fade it down and talk about it, but I just have to do that that cold stop there. So that is Stop It. That is on the new release. This Place Is Really Nowhere. Tell me about that song. It's hypnotic for one. I'll tell you that part.
Thank you. For one, it's the newest song of the collection. So there was a time, years ago where I had all these songs written and I had my little 4-track tape machine and I would record the songs. I had a couple of, I think when I was 16, I bought my first sampler and just started putting these songs together. I'd write the lyrics, I would record them onto my 4-track or whatnot. And then, so this one in particular was just kind of a couple of melodies. It wasn't a full song that was written, and I didn't have many lyrics to it. I had some random stuff scribbled to it. So this was the last of the bunch, and the lyrics basically waited too long to write this song. Was just me, I had the whole project done pretty much. All the songs were recorded at least in demo song or demo form. And, this was the one. Why did I wait so long to write this song?
I think that sums up the album. When I hear that song, I'm like, yeah, you waited a long time to get all of this out.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't intentional, just, life.
No.
I also want to play. I'll get this queued up. Sorry, this is part of the new Zoom world we live in that I'm trying to master. I want to play a little bit of Just a Glow. Now, I first heard this. This is one of those songs that had been around for a while. I first heard this 4-ish years ago, but this is kind of like your theme song.
Yeah, the stuff that came out on the EP is on this album just because the album is sort of just a continuation from it. All those songs were meant to be on the album, but just because of various situations that we had, like we were recording at a recording studio, and during the session, middle of the album, the building was bought and they were demolishing the building, so we pretty much had to stop recording And it was going to be a while before that studio, figured it out and got a new location and whatnot. So we decided to just put the EP out because the album was obviously going to take a while.
All right, so this is Just a Glow.
Look at her. What do you see?
I see a face and eyes.
What else?
I see a naked woman.
The whole naked woman. Not just parts. Just the head.
This is gonna make me feel a whole lot better.
Again, I really wish I could fade that down, but that's a shortcoming of what I'm using right now. That song sounds so cool. I feel like I want to just let that roll and let people hear the whole thing. But I think that right there is enticing enough to make people say, oh, yeah, I got to check that out. But another song I want to get to before I move on past the sharing the audio, a song called Collide. This is a personal favorite of yours, yes?
Yeah.
Of mine, I don't know about you, Glenn.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think we have good memories from being in the studio for this one. It was my first real studio experience, and we had our friends come in. So JP, who introduced us, came in. Jimmy Marcus came in. Daiwarzao,
He's Jimmy Marcus.
Yeah, he helped with actually both tracks, Just a Glow. He helped a little bit with, and Collide, he actually helped write a little bit of the melody for the vocals and most of the chorus. But
Don't tell Jim Marcus I said this, but he's probably one of the smartest dudes I've ever met.
Absolutely.
He's very smart, but he's also one of like the kindest dudes you'll ever meet.
Without a doubt. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah, he was really helpful because I was timid and I was like, oh gosh, it's my first time. And he is the best person to have around. He's so sweet. He's like, he's not like that take sucked. He's like, that was good, but let's do it again, you know?
Yeah. And I was just blown away to have one of my, childhood heroes in the studio working on one of my songs. I was always a huge Daiwarzao fan.
Sure.
Just a big admirer of everything that he's done. So that was just a personal high for me. That session was probably the best session of all of them. And it was the first session, and it was the session that Meghan and I first got together. I first heard her voice over one of my tracks, and just the rest is history. Obviously, just fell in love with the voice.
And he challenged me because he was like, all right, here's what we're going to do for the chorus. Now, write all the verses right now.
Yeah,
so I had to write them in the studio. I was like, yeah, that's not a lot of pressure with all the studio time we are burning up from this. Yeah.
But that's probably great advice, though. Just don't overthink stuff. Go with your gut.
A ton. We both learned so much just about the studio that day.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear a second or two or 10 of Collide. And again, I apologize in advance. It's going to, just as you're listening or watching, it's going to end abruptly. Just as you're getting into it, it's going to come to a crashing stop, and then you're going to hear my voice out of it, which is a total buzzkill. But here we go. Wrong one.
This, my fellow students, was created out of no other tradition but that of the board. I'm here to listen and learn. Technique will give way to expression. Expression will give way to expression. This is a perfect example of 100% surrender to the process of tradition. It's so lifelike that you could almost fuck it.
You penetrate my mind, closing the divide. And everything I've tried to leave it all behind. But I can't seem to find a way to.
And there's that awkward end where I start talking. That sounds so badass and cool.
Thanks.
I mean, you really create moods with these songs, and these songs are produced within an inch of their lives. They're just so like full sounding to me when
I
I
have
listen.
a couple people to thank for that. Glenn has a background. Obviously, you can see all of his equipment
Yes.
there. And then Dan Zorn was someone we worked with in the studio. He was a pleasure to work with, and he has
Excellent
a
engineer.
background in house music and stuff. So that gave us like a big beefy sound. But the mastering, Glenn, you can speak to that.
Oh yeah, and it was mastered by Maor Applebaum, who's just a real well-known mastering engineer. I was friends with him on Facebook, and he would always post about some some mastering gig that he just did. You know, he just remastered a classic Yes album, and I think he's done Rush and some other things like that. So pretty big names. And then one day he posted about remastering a Pigface album. And I was like, oh wow, that's my shit, So I messaged him. I'm like, that's so cool, that's a classic album. I love that. And from there we just kind of went on. He asked me about how my project was coming along, and let him know when it was time for mastering and all that. And just ended up being real supportive. And it's just an honor to have him. An honor to have everybody that's participated in the album, really.
So sonically, as I listen, it's such a visual sounding band. It's so dramatic and cinematic. Obviously, no one's playing anywhere right now, but now that this album is out in the universe, when things settle into a state where you can start performing again, how do you build this out for a live show? Because I feel like you got to go big on this.
Well, I don't know how big we can go at first. I mean, I put a lot of thought into it. At first, it was supposed to just kind of be a studio album, just something I finished, a project that I started a long time ago. Let's have a bunch of my friends play on it, and I'll put it out and, see what happens. But as we were in the studio and talking, we did talk a lot about, this would be really fun to put this together and actually do a band and play some shows. So it's definitely on our mind. I would like to maybe, if we could, possibly put together just a small, maybe 3-piece version of this. There's a lot of computer tricks and sequences and things like that. So it wouldn't be too hard to play over that. There's live drums. Oh yeah, the cool thing about Meghan is she came with a drummer.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kind of a two-for deal.
Vince McKaylee, who plays drums with Jimmy and a couple of his bands, Go Fight, and he's done shows with Diwarza, and he's in Mute with Steven Siebold. So
Yeah, and Hate Department.
And yeah, well, he doesn't play in Hate Department. He's done a show though. Yeah, he's like my live-in drummer. So
That's awesome. So he's like a gift with purchase.
yeah.
Pretty much.
He's a BOGO. He's a buy one get one. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he plays on a couple of the tunes, and he took my early '90s cheesy drum machine beats and turned them into something that a lot more human and a lot more emotional.
Again, the new album is This Place Is Really Nowhere. I really enjoyed listening to it today as I was trying to get a bunch of work done. It works well in the background, and it works great in the foreground. Like I cannot wait to just head out in my car when I do that again, and just crank this. It just fills the space. It sounds so good.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It's huge.
So live shows aside, going back to the notion that you were a very visual sounding band, any video work planned to kind of bring some of these songs to life?
We want to do a music video. We just haven't chosen the song or the concept yet.
Okay, a couple songs we haven't talked about. I know this is also an older song you've been living with. I think Painfully Remain is one of the standouts on this album. It's a more traditional sounding song for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Vince did drums on that, and he said that's his favorite song on the album. So
That definitely stands out.
Well, I think it's because mostly that one features Lee Gorman, who plays that amazing acoustic guitar, and I think that's what really brings it out. That tune, obviously, that's an old one as well, but it didn't have a lot of those elements. It was a very, it had the melody and everything was there, and he came and kind of just added that element to it, and once that happened, I was just like, oh wow, well now this is something. Now this sounds kind of cool. So I'm a big fan of that one, mainly because of Lee's guitar work.
It all connects. It all comes together. Another song I really like is On You. Is this as dirty as it sounds?
I think it's a double entendre. Glenn says it's not. I don't know.
Glenn?
I mean, it's whatever you think it is, I guess. It's whatever it means to you.
Well, I walked away with it. My impression was it was dirty, which that's just, it's like I posted on social media a couple days ago, a picture of like a black Labrador retriever. And depending on how you look at it, you either see a dog or you see an evil clown. It's one of those like optical illusions.
Yes.
And I swear to God, for about 40 minutes, all I saw was the clown. It took me forever to identify what parts were the dog. So my point is, kind of like that song. It is what you see. It could be a dog. It could be an evil clown. It's all in the eyes or ears of the beholder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't know what it says about me that I saw the clown. Like I could not see the wholesome dog. I just saw the maniacal, like just zombie clown instead of the cute
Maybe
family pet.
More abstractly.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
That's clearly it. All right. So the question I ask every artist during this or during these unprecedented times, I can't say that again. I feel like we're all like on unprecedented fatigue. We've heard that these are unprecedented times. I miss precedented times.
Oh yeah.
I would kill a drifter for precedented times at this point. But the question I ask all musicians is, how can we support you? Is it going to Bandcamp? What can we do to support your art and your music as the world is upside down?
Bandcamp seems to be the best way these days. We didn't even release it on any streaming sites or Spotify or anything like that. It's solely on Bandcamp right now. We did Spotify and Apple Music and some other things for the last release, and we'll probably will do it for this one, but for right now, Bandcamp is the best way to go.
I hear musicians are getting rich on Spotify.
Yeah, pennies.
Yeah.
Pennies come raining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Glenn, I got to tell you, I was elated when you reached out to me a couple of weeks ago to say, hey, we're back. We've got a full album out, and it's nothing but payoff. It sounds great. I think you really
Better late than never. But yeah, I told you as soon as we had something, you'd be among the first to get it. You've been a supporter from day one, and we truly appreciate that. So
well, it's great music, and I'm happy to support you. And this was well worth the wait. theheadofagirl.bandcamp.com for people to check out, support, buy a digital album while you're there, buy the whole discography. Why not? But great sounding stuff. I really appreciate you doing this tonight.
yeah, thanks for having us. So cool. I mean, such an honor. This is an awesome show, an awesome thing that you do. So
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
been a long time. Thank you.